In this video, I'll tell you about my trip to Thailand, where we'll discover the most beautiful and unique places. In this second video of my trip to Thailand, we move from Bangkok to discover other interesting and especially historical places and a hidden gem with a reclined Buddha statue. In the tab above, you can watch the first part of my trip if you missed it. The most peculiar thing about Ayuttaya Park is the head in the tree. But why is this head there? The head is located in the temple of Wat Yai Chai, which was destroyed in 1767 by the Burmese. There are two popular theories. One is that during restoration work between 1968 and 1970, a worker moved a surviving head and placed it at the base of the tree. The Bodhi tree's rapid growth would have then engulfed it within a few decades. According to another, more widespread theory, one of these heads fell near a young sacred fig tree called a Bodhi tree, and while the temple remained abandoned, the roots grew around the stone until they embraced and raised the head as we see it today. In any case, within the park you can see numerous statues with severed heads. But why all these severed heads? When the Burmese army conquered Ayuttaya, they applied a scorched earth tactic. Temples were burned, the city was sacked, and many statues were intentionally mutilated or decapitated as a gesture of victory and humiliation to the enemy. Various sources report that the Burmese also severed the heads of Buddhas to remove the most valuable and easily transportable parts of the statues, often decorated or gilded. The head is the most recognizable and artistic part of the statue, therefore most sought after as a decorative or collectible object, and is also relatively easier to remove than the entire stone or brick body. Symbolically, decapitating the Buddha also means profaning the sacred image, turning it into a mere object, which makes the act even more serious in the eyes of Buddhists. Ayuttaya represents one of the most fascinating chapters in the history of Southeast Asia. Founded in 1351 by King Ramathibodi I, also known as King U Thong, this city became the second capital of Siam and maintained this privileged role for 417 years until its devastating fall in 1767. Archaeological evidence suggests a much older history. The area was already inhabited during the Dvaravati period around the 9th century, when the Khmer established a fort and named it Ayodhya, after the holy city of the same name in India. Some statues have survived, however, like this beautiful Buddha statue. The devastation of 1767 was truly catastrophic, with a war that lasted 3 years. The Ayuttaya defenders relied on traditional defense strategies, the fortified city walls, and the predicted floods of the monsoon season. However, the Burmese demonstrated exceptional perseverance, remaining through the rainy season and developing sophisticated siege tactics. In March-April 1767, the besiegers dug underground tunnels to undermine the foundations of the northeastern walls, causing them to collapse. Much of Ayuttaya's recorded history has been pieced together from the accounts of foreign travelers, as the official archives were destroyed. Now let's see Wat Yai Chai Mongkhon, one of the most important and evocative temples in Ayuttaya. It was founded in 1357 by King U Thong, Ramathibodi I, to house monks returning from Sri Lanka, initially under the name Wat Pa Kayo. In 1767, during the fall of Ayuttaya, the temple was sacked by the Burmese and subsequently abandoned, like much of the city. In 1957, the monastery was officially refounded and is now once again an active temple, a destination for both tourists and Thai worshippers who come to pay homage to the Buddha and King Nareswaran. For Thais, The Great Chedi is a monument to the victory and independence of Siam, which is why the temple is associated with good fortune, success in studies and work, and is often chosen to make merit before exams or new beginnings. The row of seated Buddhas is very beautiful and unique. The most interesting part is the central Chedi, which you can also climb. The central Chedi of Wat Yai Chai Mongkhon is the large bell-shaped stupa called Phra Chedi Chai Mongkhon, a symbol of King Naresuan's auspicious victory over the Burmese at the end of the 16th century. It was built or enlarged by King Naresuan around 1592 as a monument commemorating his victory in a duel over the Burmese crown prince at Nong Sarai, a key event in Siam's independence. It is from this large Chedi that the temple's current name derives, Wat Yai Chai Mongkhon, meaning Great Monastery of Auspicious Victory. At the highest point there is a well, which never had a water function to hold water, but initially served as a place for relics and offerings. It is currently used primarily by tourists and pilgrims to throw coins and for good luck. During my trip, I participated in a very particular celebration of the Thai religion, the Tak Bat. It is a morning almsgiving ceremony deeply rooted in Theravada Buddhism. This sacred ritual represents a symbiotic, age-old relationship between the monks and the local community, embodying the fundamental principles of Buddhist spirituality. Tak Bat literally means presenting food to a Buddhist monk or priest. It is a daily ceremony in which worshippers offer food, drink, and other necessities to Buddhist monks walking the streets of Thailand at dawn. This practice is not simply an act of charity, but a profound spiritual exchange that sustains both the monks and the community. The monks, who have renounced material goods according to their vows, depend entirely on the generosity of the laity for their sustenance. Every morning, barefoot and wrapped in saffron robes, they walk silently through the streets and villages, carrying their alms bowls to collect offerings. In this case, everything was organized near a temple and not along the streets, and I had to get up very early to participate in this ceremony, which was very emotional and special. I bought some fresh local food at a nearby market to offer to the monks, who accepted the food offerings after prayers. For Buddhists, participating in the takbat is an opportunity to practice altruism and accumulate merit. Bun, a key concept in Thai Buddhism. This merit is believed to contribute to personal spiritual development and can be dedicated to loved ones, both living and deceased. The ritual also strengthens social cohesion, as communities gather together with a shared purpose and reverence each morning. For monks, these offerings are essential for their physical sustenance, allowing them to focus on their spiritual studies and the teachings of the Buddha. Now we visit Sukhothai Historical Park, the most important historical site in Thailand. Sukhothai Historical Park is one of the most significant archaeological sites in Southeast Asia, embodying the transition from Khmer rule to the emergence of independent Thai culture. Founded in 1238 by the Thai tribal leader Khun Bang Klang Thao, known as Sri Indraditya, the Sukhothai kingdom marked the first truly autonomous Siamese state. In 1991, it was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The name itself, Sukhothai, means "dawn of happiness" in Thai, a title that reflects the profound significance the ancient inhabitants attributed to their kingdom, a place where prosperity, spirituality, and art flourished simultaneously. The main core is a rectangular citadel of impressive dimensions, 1,810 meters east-west and 1,400 meters north-south, surrounded by 3 concentric circles of brick walls and as many moats. Now only ruins remain, but ancient historical records indicate that the entire city was conceived as a garden city, with vast open spaces for royal parades, orchards of coconut, mango, tamarind, and other trees. The most important part of the park is Wat Mahathat, Temple of the Great Relic. The base of the main stupa is decorated with 168 stucco sculptures depicting Buddhist disciples in procession with clasped hands. Here is one of the most iconic and characteristic sculptures of Thailand, the Standing Buddha, Phra Atharos. The term Atharos itself reveals the importance of this representation. The name literally means of such height or tall, referring to the statue's extraordinary proportions. The statue's posture is also distinctive, unlike many others. Now let's see a very important structure of the park, Wat Yai Chai, the temple of the transition from Hinduism to Buddhism. Wat Yai Chai is one of the oldest monuments in Sukhothai, built in the late 12th century, well before Sukhothai became the capital of the Kingdom of Siam. Its construction is attributed to the Khmer king Jayavarman VII, the famous Khmer monarch who massively expanded the territory of the Khmer Empire and commissioned architectural masterpieces such as the Bayon at Angkor. What's remarkable is that Wat Yai Chai was originally built as a Hindu temple, not a Buddhist one. This seemingly contradictory fact reveals the complex religious landscape of the 12th century Khmer Empire, where Buddhism and Hinduism coexisted and were sometimes practiced simultaneously by different sectors of society. Wat Yai Chai was originally dedicated to the worship of the Hindu Trimurti, the supreme trinity of the Hindu religion composed of Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer and transformer, and Vishnu, the preserver, which is why there are 3 prangs. Now let's visit a little-known and visited but very beautiful temple, the Wat Phra that Suthon Mongkhon Khiri. It is known for its fusion of Lana and Burmese styles and for the presence of a large, reclining Buddha. Compared to the other temples we saw in this video, this temple is very recent. This temple has the advantage that it is almost never crowded, so you can visit it peacefully without having to worry about crowds. But the most important feature of this temple is the imposing reclining Buddha, with features decidedly different from the others. But the most notable feature of this temple is the imposing reclining Buddha, with features decidedly different from the others. The Buddha is reclining because it represents the moment preceding the transition to parinirvana, a symbol of peace and detachment from the material world. At the entrance stand imposing lions, symbols of strength and protection, which welcome visitors and act as guardians of the complex. This type of lion, Singa, is typical of Lana art and is placed at the threshold of temples to mark the passage from the profane to the sacred world.